Hey guys, how's it going? Went to do a video about North Wilkesboro and some of the good news that's coming out of all that, and let's jump right into it. So, back in 2010, North Wilkesboro kind of got a little bit of life with the past series that came, and Chase Elliott won that, and Ryan Blaney was in that race. Unfortunately, I don't think it quite got the media attention and some of the traction that it kind of should have got. But so after that, things kind of flattened out for a while, and nothing was really said. Well, during the pandemic, uh, last March or April, whenever it was, Dale Earnhardt Jr. Spent his own money to hire a landscaping crew to come out there and pull weeds and really just mow some stuff. And well, they ended up rescanning, or not rescanning, scanning the racing surface to put it on iRacing. And it was the highest viewed iRace event, which was on national television during the iRacing Pro Invitational Series of last year. So it took off. It was huge. And I would like to say that if North Wilkesboro comes back to its former glory and has NASCAR racing there, it will be largely due to iRacing. I'm not a huge iRacing fan myself, but I'm appreciative of that because iRacing is a big thing. So let's move forward. I don't know, month and a half ago, Dale Earnhardt Jr. has a podcast, and on his podcast that he posts on Twitter and YouTube, uh, basically Marcus Smith was on the show, and towards the end, he said, "I just want to let the fans know we have not forgotten about North Wilkesboro. We're well aware that there's a lot of people that want it back." And in my own interpretation, he kind of said, if there's money to be made and if it all makes sense, he wants to get the racetrack going again, is the way I kind of interpreted it. Well, throughout social media buzz, Marcus Lemonis, who owns a lot of the Camping World stores, multimillionaire, is on the show The Profit. It's a great show, by the way, on NBC if you ever get a chance to watch it. He came on Twitter and basically said, hey, I want to have some phone calls with Marcus Smith and, let's go from there. Well, that kind of snowballed. The phone call was made. There was Twitter evidence that Marcus Lemonis called Marcus Smith. Now, this is my speculation. I do know for a fact that Marcus Smith has had conversations with the town government. That's a fact. I imagine Marcus Lemonis has also talked with the town of North Wilkesboro and has had conversations with them as well. And what ended up following from that is basically Marcus Lemonis was like, hey, if you guys get the track going, I wouldn't mind putting a small little Camping World store next to the track. He said that, came out and made a statement about it. He's been on Twitter, more recently, also kind of poking the bear of North Wilkesboro, saying like, hey, I'm on board, so much to the extent that I'll donate $1 million towards getting a track in a good condition. Who's with me? Like, hey, I'll help, but I need some help too. Okay, so kind of in the middle of all of this, also recently, about a month or so ago, the Speedway kind of came out with what they call We Want You Back. And the town of North Wilkesboro forked out $5,000, as far as I know, to basically make banners. They look nice too, and put them around like, the local Dollar Generals, the local Food Lions, the local banks, the local hotels, saying, hey, we want you back. They even got a huge billboard saying we want you back, and on the left and right hand corners has like the Holiday Express and like another Comfort Inn or whatever the hotels are around that area, which is really cool. So that's saying like, hey, hotels are on board, let's do it. So that's been really cool. So move forward a little bit more. Rory Cooper came out, and there was a release from journalpatriot.com talking about North Wilkesboro, and basically Rory Cooper is like, hey, I want to dump $10 million, 3 ways, so it's $30 million total. So $10 million to Charlotte, $10 million into the Rockingham, and $10 million in North Wilkesboro. Personally, selfishly, I would kind of like to see some of that money somehow from Charlotte snuck into North Wilkesboro, because I don't think Charlotte's dying for repairs. I think they can use some, of course, but given the current situation, hey, would it be better to help out your little brother, so he can kind of raise himself up, and then he'll help you out too later on, something like that. I don't know. Anyways, so the caveat to that, though, is, and from what I understand, correct me if I'm wrong, is Rory Cooper, the governor of North Carolina, is like, hey, you have to match 2.5 to get to 10, though. So basically, and also with that said, it has to be updates, renovations, whatever, to kind of benefit the local area that the track is around. So maybe, if it sounds like they're leaning towards like the water and sewer lines and kind of building those, and that'll trickle down to like some of the community and also help out. Because you got to think speedways are not just speedways. Like there's a lot of things that go on speedways and concerts and events and stuff. So it needs to be something that's not just, hey, we built bleachers for the track. You know what I mean? So Wilkes County, though, says that they've got the money, no problem. So they're already getting estimates from this article, and it sounds like they will start work ASAP, which is awesome. And they are going to start in the water and sewer lines, and they're going to probably have to, build new ones, or whatever the case may be, repair old ones. I'm sure that they're damaged or not up to par with the current codes and everything else. Anyways, so that's all looking really good. Also, it sounds like Wilkes County has $13.6 million in their COVID relief fund left, and that they sound like they want to spend quite a bit of that into the track, if I'm not mistaken. It says it right here in the article. The COVID relief funds settle referenced are $13.6 million earned marks for Wilkes County government and the ARP. So we're looking at a total of $24 million, including Marcus Lemonis' donation. And people are like, well, that's not a lot of money. Well, we're not building in Miami, Florida. We're not building in Houston, Texas. We're not building in Raleigh, North Carolina. We're not building in Los Angeles, California. We're building in Wilkes County, North Carolina. The contracts of a lot of these companies that are local companies are, A, not going to be nearly as much as some of the places I just mentioned for labor and work and everything else and materials. And B, a lot of those places are probably local, and they probably want to see the track get opened up quickly too, because maybe they're NASCAR fans. Maybe it's something near and dear to their heart. Maybe they really care about this. So with that said, they're not only going to build it, but, we've all known contractors sometimes don't do the best jobs. But I think there's going to be some personal pride in these projects from these local companies. I think there's going to be a sense of urgency to get this thing done. The quicker the better. You want it done right. You want it done safely, of course. But, work good, but work fast. You know what I mean? So I think that's the real thing. Now, I want to kind of shift a little bit over to what some more social media buzz that's been happening. Joey Logano took out his hot rod and teamed up with Austin Cindric and Cole Custer and I can't think of the other driver. But anyways, another Xfinity driver. But they all teamed up and they did like some cool stuff with Joey's hot rod, and that got on NBC and is going to air pretty soon, or I don't think it's aired yet unless I missed it. So yeah, that's really awesome. So that's just more like, Joey Logano, very thankful for him, because he's, helping out and doing his part. So, God bless him, man. But yeah, anyways, the other aspect of this is, as far as North Wilkesboro, the town, the steps that they're going to have to take, because I don't think this is an if anymore. It's a when. And the media buzz and this stuff has exploded. And like the past 2 months, when Marcus Lemonis made that comment on Dale Earnhardt, his Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s podcast, it just blew out of the water. I mean, it was bizarre. So, the police department, they're probably a small department. Maybe they're not used to dealing with 50,000 people that come in. I think it's going to seat around 40 or 50,000 people. That's about what Martinsville and Richmond is. I think that's realistic. The local mom and pop, because a lot of those places down there are still mom and pop, I'm sure. I mean, I'm sure they have the chain stores too, but, they're not probably used to having the shelves get sold out in a weekend for food or for clothes, or, NASCAR fans come in, they forget everything. They forget the pillow that they were supposed to bring for their tent that they're camping in. They forget sandals, sunglasses. I mean, that happens. I'm a NASCAR fan. I know. I travel all the time to races, and I tent camp, and I forget things. It just happens. So they've got to make sure the electric gets out to the RVs and everything else. So there's a lot of stuff that has to go in on the town side, not just getting the track going. And I'm sure that's, something that's being talked about. But the great thing about this whole thing is the people of Wilkes County and the people of the town of North Wilkesboro, they seem, I'm sure there's onesie twosies that aren't happy, but they seem like majority of them really want the track back. I know the DOT, I don't know what's been talked about with the DOT, but I do know from hearing past fans that used to go there that the parking and getting out of that onto, I think it's 420, whatever highway that main highway is, it's kind of rough. And it's a log jam. So I know that there's going to have to be some stuff done. And I know DOT has a priority list of things that they've already got prioritized. But I think a couple of select phone calls from, the governor, or some other people will bump the priority up a little bit. We all know how the government works, right? So I'm not too worried about that stuff getting fixed. But I know it needs to get fixed. I know that was when I went to that pass race. That super late model race, I went there. I got pictures of it. I remember in 2010 that the traffic was rough. So that's got to get fixed. There's also been some really cool, like, I guess, graphic engineer plans, layouts, whatever you want to call them, of like what the track could look like, and the parking lots and the buildings. And somebody had this cool, like, old, like, Junior Johnson, one of his old cars in like a moonshine bottle, you know what I mean, like as like a kind of like a standing billboard, like really neat looking things. So and that was made by fans, and some of them look really professional. And I also think that because Marcus Smith and stuff liked some of those tweets I saw from those fans doing that. I think that just got the gears turned even more, because he probably saw that and was like, man, that's what it could look like. That is really cool, and it becomes more of a reality, because right now you're just seeing the pictures online or whatever, and it's like, look at this dump, but when you see like, hey, this could really happen, this is what it could look like, this is realistic, then people's minds starts, you start falling more in love with something at that point. But anyways, I'm going to cut this video off. I'm kind of running out of time here, but let me know how you guys feel about things, how you see North Wilkesboro progressing in the future. It doesn't sound like they're going to do dirt. That got pretty much, I think, outvoted on some Twitter polls from Save the Speedway on Twitter, so that's cool. It sounds like it's going to be asphalt. But let me know, like, just kind of shut your eyes and visualize yourself at the track, at the grass, seeing all the fans and stuff in the infields and outfields. And let me know, like, when you shut your car door, like, how are you going to feel? I think I'm going to feel very, very emotional. I'm already feeling it now doing the videos. So, let me know how you guys are going to feel. Memories of North Wilkesboro, and just I guess that's pretty much what I have here. But I'm super excited about the track getting back. It's something I'm very invested in, and man, I got emotional just mentioning it because it's so cool. But anyways, I hope you guys have a great week, and leave the comments below and tell me what you think of everything. Bye.